Hello everyone, this is the Cannon Cruisers, I'm JD.
And I'm Randy.
And we're here to talk to you now about a movie called New Year's Evil.
A movie that's very close to my heart.
So tell us about the plot, Randy. What is New Year's Evil about?
Well, first off, what you're forgetting is, we have to do our whole rigmarole here. So this is released in 1980, a film directed by Emmett Alston, and the plot of this film is it's a basic slasher film taking place on New Year's Eve during a New Year's Eve bash hosted by Diane, aka Blaze, a punk rock new wave host. They receive a call from a killer, and it says that every hour for each time zone in the United States, he's going to kill one person.
Yep, that's the basic rule.
With her being his final kill.
Yes, there is a lot of tension in this movie. You could feel it emanating from the screen.
So, what did you think of the film, JD?
I hated it. I thought it was pretty awful, actually. It was probably the worst movie we've done so far. Imagine the movie Schizoid, only worse in every conceivable way, with worse kills, worse characters, worse acting, worse writing, worse directing. Completely abysmal. How about you, Randy?
There's about 20 minutes of actual plot in this movie, and that's being generous.
Oh, you're talking about the musical sequences.
I'm talking about that there's 20 minutes of actual plot in this movie. And that's being generous. And that's plot with air quotes around it because the plot is barely even there. The movie is an hour and a half long, roughly. And about 3/4 of that runtime was prolonged musical sequences. Not musical, I'm singing and dancing. No, it was punk band, new wave bands playing music and people dancing and no plot going on.
And random different genres, too. It was like a blues song, a psychedelic song. It was very confusing because I didn't know what kind of concert this was supposed to be.
New wave and punk. That's what it was supposed to be.
That's supposed to be. In 20 minutes, the first 20 minutes, the first third of the movie, there was one kill. And this is a horror movie. Nothing else happened in 20 minutes. It was really boring.
You get your first kill within the first 5 minutes to set up the plot. He calls in, and then we have almost 5 to 7 minutes of them driving around in a car while the credits play over it.
Yep.
Listening to music where nothing happens. They arrive at the location where the New Year's Eve bash is, and then you get another 5 to 10 minutes of musical playing without any plot going on.
Yep.
It's like this movie is really unevenly paced.
It's really badly paced. Also, since we're already talking about the story, we might as well just mention that the killer doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Anything he does doesn't make any sense.
Nothing makes sense in this movie.
No, but the killer specifically in a slasher movie has to make some semblance of sense. Otherwise, why are you even watching it, even if for entertainment value outside the quality of the film?
It's I kind of felt sad for the killer because I don't want to say he was crazy, but it's he basically was having a breakdown.
Yes.
It seemed throughout the whole movie, and everything he did not make sense. We're getting real into nitty gritty here.
Might as well.
He wasn't very bright.
Nope.
He chose his victims at random, who were quote unquote naughty girls, and he would kill them at the chiming of the bell for a specific time zone, and he would choose them arbitrarily.
And he broke his rule of one kill per hour.
He broke his rule at one point. He killed a man at one point because he got in his way.
It hinted that he was dressing as a priest to kill a nun or something because he kept looking at a picture of a nun, but that never led to anything, so it was never explained why he was doing it.
The killer was driving around in his own car?
That was really stupid. He was smart enough to apparently change the disguise after every kill, but he kept using his own car, licensed in his name, registration.
The second kill of the movie where we're actually introduced to the killer who... okay, so he doesn't have a gimmick. His gimmick was, I'm going to kill them at the hour for the New Year's.
He has strange, disparate gimmicks that do not mesh.
Yeah,
At one point, he's wearing a mask that was advertised. He wears it once in the movie near the end, which doesn't lead to anything. Then he wears it before he, spoilers, kills himself. And there's another gimmick where he's talking into a voice changer, which he uses twice, never uses again for some reason.
As you can tell, we're grasping to talk about this film because there's not really much to talk about.
There's nothing cogent to
But I just want to go back to that second kill. It's to show how dumb this guy was. It's his first kill was at a place where he once upon a time was a patient of.
Yes.
There. He's first.
Sanitarium.
His kill, it was at a sanitarium, which he had been a patient of.
Yes. It didn't make any sense.
Which also had a long, protracted 5 to 10 minute song and dance, like the dancing sequence.
And he disguised himself to get in there, which they knew who he was because he was a patient there,
Yeah,
but nobody recognized him.
But his disguise was literally, I'm wearing the uniform. Didn't change my hair. I'm not wearing a mustache. I'm the exact same guy that was here like 5 years ago.
And later on, when he's describing to his wife why he killed the first woman, which apparently he has a reason to, it doesn't explain why he killed literally anybody else in the movie.
He was going crazy. He was telling his wife that she had betrayed their son, that she doesn't know anything about what's going on in his son's life, that she's emasculated him.
I want to talk about that betrayal first, though. When he said...
Turning on our son. You
betrayed our son.
No, she said, you've been turning on our son.
Yes. And his example was basically that he went to an audition, the son, for a some sort of a project. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was a soap opera.
No, they don't tell you. It was like a soap opera or something. Yeah, film.
Yes. Anyway, he did it. He didn't use his last name, and he got the audition.
He got the audition on his own merits.
Yes, which is good for him.
And I'm going to jump around again because...
But that's it. It doesn't explain how that's a betrayal or anything.
We've been shown that her son... the big spoiler is the killer is her husband. It's... The big thing early on in the movie is that the son is this really uncomfortable actor, and
taking pills and wearing stockings over his head.
That seemingly I wasn't really following because there was nothing that was flirting with his mother. I'm not sure if she was flirting with him. I'm not quite sure. Or he saw it, and then he was taking pills and like sniffing her stockings, putting it over his head, wearing her earrings, and. Yeah,
there was no coherency here.
There was nothing coherent in this whole film.
It was a mess. It was just one big mess.
I did not find one redeeming quality about this film. No. I've been looking at JD going, why are you doing this to me? Why? Why?
It's a bad movie. So I think at this point we might as well just say what our ratings would be. And if you haven't been listening, it's pretty obvious. It's a 1 out of 5 for me. There's nothing about it that was enjoyable at all. It's the worst movie we've done so far, no question.
Yeah, I've been giving every movie so far a 1, and we don't have a lower scale than 1, so I have to give it a 1, but I would give it a 0. This movie was bad.
It was really bad.
20 minutes of actual plot.
Yeah, I haven't recommended either of the movies we watched before this, but I would have to say, if you saw this movie, don't even watch it out of curiosity. There's no reason to. There's nothing enjoyable here. There's nothing, even if you like movies, or even bad movies, ironically, you're not going to enjoy it. It's boring. It's stupid, and there's nothing...
And the music wasn't that good.
No, the music also was all over the place. I didn't understand where they were going with any of this, I should say. But anyway, that's that, thankfully. And now we can move on to our next movie, which is Enter the Ninja. But before we go, let's play a clip from the trailer for this movie and enjoy the dulcet tones of Mr. Evil.
No, his name wasn't Mr. Evil. He said... I am evil.
I'm calling him Mr. Evil.
Evil.
It's a less generic name.
Evil. Call me evil.
Every New Year's Eve, the caller came out. One terrifying night of unspeakable evil. New Year's Evil.
And that was that. So we'll be seeing you next week with a better movie, Enter the Ninja, 1980s, actually 1981.
Yes, it's a 1981 action movie, and it's the first of the ninja movies that broke out in the 80s. This caused the whole wave to...
So would this be the end of our season 1 of our series that we're out of the 80s?
Oh boy. We're into 81, which is when 80s movie finally starts.
If anybody's actually downloading this, it's actually going to say on it season 2, 1981, because I'm doing to bring the seasons down by the year.
Yes. There wasn't much to review in 1980, but we wanted to get our solid footing down before we got into the better stuff. Anyway, that's all for us. This has been the Cannon Cruisers. I'm JD.
And I'm Randy.
See you next time when we're cruising the Cannon catalog.